105.1.
The music muscle of the show.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You tuned in to 105.1 at the lunchtime hour with the old school preacher.
And the church secretary.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We're trying to make sure that we on and popping. Yeah, it's on and popping. You can hear it loud and clear. It is 12:19 in the city of Florence, Alabama, and I guarantee you it's still cold in Dothan.
It's cold. It's unexpected. You know, Dothan, they praying for that good weather, but it looks like it's going to be a while before we get back to that point. It's an off and on thing. It's dreary here today. It was raining. It rained really hard this morning. Look like it's going to be overcast. Look like Dothan's going to be getting some rain tonight in the Dothan area. It's supposed to rain tomorrow there. So, but it's not as cold as it has been. It's not in the 30s, so I guess that's a good thing for us. I take the 50s any day. I just don't like the rain, but goes with human nature. You gotta go with the flow. Can't have sunshiny days every day. But, you know, a lot of people think we're supposed to have it that way, but it is what it is. I hope y'all got it tuned in to our app. That's Knox Media Group. And go follow us on YouTube, Knox Media Group. You know how we do. That's from the north to the south. You can hear us on the app. You can hear us on YouTube. You can hear us on all of our social media platforms. We have so many. So make sure you tune in and keep it locked in to the baddest radio station there is. A lot of people say, I can't hear you on the radio dial, but you can hear us on the app no matter where you are. So it's a good thing to have all the different apps and social media platforms for us right here at Knox Media Group.
Well, what's going on in the news? Listen, I know it's been a while since we've been on, but I try to tell y'all, man, Donald Trump is going to do what Donald Trump is going to do. He spoke for an hour and 47 minutes the other night, and I told y'all it was going to be long. And I was surprised at the number of people that said he did a great job.
Yeah, I heard that as well. You were saying an hour and 47 minutes. So he had to break his record breaking. You know, it was an hour and a half, the longest he had done previously. So I guess he said, let me go and get them 17 more minutes on in there.
Donald Trump gave y'all the business. And when I tell you he gave the business for an hour and 47 minutes. And here's the thing. I wanted to know from somebody, and y'all help me, because I know sometimes I'm a little slow. Mm-hmm. Tell me, what did he say that was true?
What did he say that was true?
Yeah, that's the part that you want to know. Because, man, Donald Trump will make up some stuff, and he'll have everybody like, yeah, that's it. And then you go back and look, you're like, man, that ain't true. Yeah. But he would make it up, and he has some people. What got me was Al Green, and I wanted to talk about this. And I may have to bring the radio down, bring the music down. But Congressman Al Green, he was there, and he had a sign. The sign only said, black folks ain't apes. Why did they march him out?
Because that's the truth. They don't, people they can't perceive the truth. They rather hear a lie. Like you said, you don't know what's true and what's not true with President Trump, but because he said that people take that offensively.
Well, I mean, he didn't say anything. He just had a sign up, and he just basically said black folks not apes. And I just want to ask everybody, was it just me? Because I wanted to know, if you didn't think that black people were apes, why didn't you say something on this man's behalf? Everybody in there, including Trump, if you said you didn't say that and you said you didn't put that out, why is it that you did not stand up and say, I did not agree with that, I did not do that, and I did not put that out, and do not have it removed, because the statement is not true? But he has the right to protest, and he's not protesting. He was making a statement, and his statement was just true. Black folks are not apes. And I think that all white people, all Mexicans, all Hispanics, everybody, including black people, should have been like, hey, why are we removing him? And nobody said anything, because they said they were trying to keep a decorum. If that's the case, why was the man with Make America Great Again had a hat on? You don't wear a hat when it's in session. You don't wear a hat when the president is doing his address.
Right.
If he can't have a sign, didn't say anything, why is the other guy back there with his hat on and the president took a picture with him?
Because people did try to say what's right and wrong. Basically, that's it. I mean, the sign, he basically had this sign because it was stated just a week or two ago that President Trump was stating that black people were monkeys or apes or whatever, and he put the sign up saying it. So now he's in the wrong because President Trump said he didn't say that.
But again, what did he do? What did he do wrong?
He didn't do anything wrong, but people don't like it when
so
people. So
why didn't anybody speak up for him?
People not gonna speak up because they feel like if I say something, President Trump gonna get on to me.
I just said this, and I'm telling you, stop taking on other people's problems when they don't fight for themselves. That man, look, you out here, he out there sticking his neck out, trying to get people on board, and what he said was true, that black people are not monkeys. But my whole point behind that is some more people, including the white people, should have stood up with him. And if you look at it, you see the guy trying to take the sign. Why are you trying to take the sign? Don't take the sign. Join in and say he's right. Black people are not monkeys.
But in the end, they're looking at it as if, okay, if I say something, President Trump gonna be mad at me or disagree with what I'm doing, or he's gonna, put the people out on me. But do what's right by everybody.
But are you willing to make the sacrifice?
People are not willing to make a sacrifice for nobody.
So why is it that people continue to sacrifice for others when others would not do the same for you?
I don't know, because I feel like, everybody just in this world for self. That's how I feel like people are just living. I'm like, they're like, well, it ain't got nothing to do with me.
I understand that, but I just don't get. I'm still trying to help. I'm just trying to get somebody to help me understand, because I said, well, maybe I'm the only one. No news talked about it. Nobody talked about that. Nobody said, why did they put him out? Because he had a sign, not because he was up hollering and interrupting anything. He had a sign with a true statement on it. And if you are not in agreement with something, you ought to speak up.
Right.
And I don't think that is right that we continue to give people excuses on why every white person, every Hispanic, every person that did not agree with that statement should have been, hey, leave him alone, clapping, saying, hey, he has the right to do that because black people are not monkeys. Black people are not apes. But I saw them clapping because they were marching him out.
Because they feel like, and that would make me feel like they were in agreement saying that black people are apes.
Well, some people said that, hey, I just don't want to get in this. Okay, so when you tell me you just don't want to get in something, that means that you're really in agreement with it.
Right.
So you say, hey, I just don't want to say nothing about that. Why? Why you don't want to say anything about that? Why? What's the real problem behind that? What is it that you're trying to protect? What is it that you're trying to hide? Like you just said, maybe you don't want Trump to be upset with you, or maybe you agree with that, but you never had the audacity to say you agree with it. Because this is what I'm telling you. If I see somebody else mistreating you, and I don't speak up on your behalf, then I'm in agreement with what they're doing.
Right. And that's how I look at a whole lot of things. People can come back and tell you what somebody else said about you, or people allow people to talk. Well, they'll say, well, I didn't say anything. Well, you just as wrong as they are.
Well, here's the question. Do loyalty have access?
Does
loyalty mean that you have access? Because a lot of people confuse loyalty with access. I can be loyal to you, but you don't need to have all this access to me. Right. Because people fail to realize you can love people and still have boundaries.
Exactly.
Okay? You can help people and still protect your peace.
Yes.
You can be loyal and still say, no, not this time.
But people I have seen it where people can be in your presence. And if I'm sitting there, I have a problem with you, and I'm talking about you to them, and they say, well, and they know we loyal to one another. Why do you feel comfortable doing that? I feel like you feel
Because
comfortable
you
because
never,
you.
no one, okay, so here's the thing. If you ever tell people, don't talk about Tamika around me, that's the end of that. Don't talk about Tamika around me. Whatever issue you got with Tamika, tell her. Because if you tell me, you say it to me, I'm going to say it to her. People already say that. They said, well, yeah, I know you should tell them. Now, if you feel that way, I didn't say that to you. Now people are going to be uncomfortable with saying that.
Right.
Because I don't care what nobody say. If people are comfortable enough to say something, that means y'all been talking about me.
Exactly.
And so you got to get to a point where you say, hey, loyalty does not mean that you have access to every part of my life. And you got to learn how to set boundaries, because what Al Green showed us is you can be loyal to the people, and them same people ain't got nothing to say. But what I did notice that the justices, all of the justices was not there, which I find to be phenomenal, because you do know that the Supreme Court justices are appointed for a lifetime position. You cannot be replaced.
Oh.
Only way they replace, they die. So I was excited to see that not all the Supreme Court justices showed up. And I want to tell you the one she was accused. You remember we talked about this? She was accused of being at the Grammys. And they talked about how she shouldn't have went, and she was nominated for a book, and she did not win, and they said that she shouldn't even been there, and they gave her the hardest time, and I found out why, and her name is Justice Jackson. So Justice Jackson is the person I'm talking about. She's the first African American to actually now, she's the first African American to be put on the Supreme Court as a judge, as a justice. And y'all, listen, this woman is the truth. She is the reason why this law did not pass, what Trump was trying to do, tariff, and this woman is the truth. What she did was she went and pulled out the law, because everything that the justices does is based on the law. You got to learn. You can't fight people when they're in the majority with some how you feel. You got to have the law. This woman pulled out the law on them, and she made them have to go back to the law in order to make their decision about the law. And that's how it didn't work, because it's no way possible that you're going to say, honestly speaking, that you're going to hold up the law of the United States of America, and then when you're reading the law, you try to dismiss the law. But we've seen that happen a lot of times. So everybody was upset with her, but guess what? She didn't come. I wouldn't have came either.
No, I mean, why would you come? Why would you go to the party and you know you ain't welcome at the party?
Well, she said everybody else, they come. But I noticed Congressman Benny Thompson, he was not there. He actually had his own live going on during the speech. Yeah, I mean, it was, I was like, okay. And I think that you're dealing with a different type of people, and a different type of people now, you just can't tell folks anything no more, and they're not scared. And this young lady here, she's smart. And because she's super smart, it was just, and I was looking at this because I like to, stuff like this. I'm like, yeah, I had to get this info. Yeah. So like I told you, the Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, that name alone.
Isn't
okay, then they already know, did not attend the President Trump recent address to Congress. And guess what? Only four of the nine Supreme Court justices was present. You already know who was there. John Roberts. Okay, that's Trump boy. All right. You got Elena Kagan. She was there. Brett Kavanaugh was there. And Amy Barrett was there. The five that was absent: Jackson, Clarence Thomas, Alito, Gushel, and Sotomayor. Ooh, messed that name up bad. And none of them came. Now, the reason why, and they said this mirrors patterns from previous years, that some justices like Thomas and Alito, they rarely show up anyway.
Okay.
Clarence Thomas probably was in his RV or at Walmart parking lot chilling because he liked to travel, and then he'll park his RV in the Walmart parking lot, and that's where they'll stay while they travel around the world, travel around the United States. People just don't know it's him, and he got his own security detail. Okay,
Sitting out
in the parking lot. So the absence actually drew attention because everybody understood that the Supreme Court had just voted 6-3 against that tariff bill, and everybody wanted Trump to come in and give them the business because they voted it down.
But they couldn't. He couldn't give them nothing because they weren't there.
I mean, what can he do? I mean, well, he could have came in and said something crazy, but it wasn't gonna help.
Mm-mm.
And so I'm looking at this thing now. Let's see if we can read. Hey, Precious, and Precious is in her office, and she not in the studio. She in her office, and we see the top of her head right now. So let me just take.
Well, she didn't take over the screen today.
So yeah, she took over the whole screen.
Oh, she did.
Yes, she took over the whole screen, and she's in her office. And I don't know. Let me go back and change this so that we could make sure that we on. But I was telling y'all, you got to look at this thing. I was just so amazed because I realized that these people don't even understand that the president don't have power over these people, and these people are really, really powerful. These Supreme Court justices, they are the people, and I'm just super excited. And I got to get rid of this one. And you know what's amazing to me? This thing will let whoever we bring in take over our screen.
That's what I was.
That
I
is
thought
the
it.
dumbest thing I ever seen in my life. That is really crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I mean, just brought her in.
As they say, they the leader.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it's our conversation. And they brought her in, and I'm like, that ain't gonna work. Now, I don't understand, but okay, I
see. It's life. That's how things happen all the time. Like, you have people or things, situations that you trying to teach them, and then they want to come in and take over the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how life is.
I clearly said that you got to make sure that you understand loyalty is not access. So what I was going back to what I said is no,
yeah.
Let's see right here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what I was telling about before I was interrupted by when Precious came in and on the screen with it, and all you see at the top of her head. Anyway, so and so what I was saying is you had 6-3 because they wanted Trump to come in and basically get them the business. Trump didn't come in to get them folks the business. He came in and he was shaking hands and all that because he understands that what they're doing now, they're not fighting him on emotions. They're fighting with the law. And if you fight with the law and stick to the law and don't try to even reshape the law, then you're going to see a lot of stuff change. But Trump has a team, and we have to give him credit. He has a team around him that knows loopholes, because when they did that, his team already said, don't worry about the president. What you can do is you can sign an executive order, and with the executive order, you don't need to get approval of Congress. Use what you got. Here's our problem. We have people around us that don't help us. And I said this, just because you have good intentions don't produce results.
Right. You
got to have people around you that's going to produce results. And that man got a team. I mean, it don't matter what they come at him with, his team is on it. I mean, they own it real quick. And they just fired some people from the Justice Department, from the FBI. Patel fired some people yesterday. And I got to find out why these people were fired. It said it had something to do with the people that went to Donald Trump's house in Florida and got them records out. So we got to find out why did them people get fired. They talked about that last night, but they couldn't tell me why they got fired. And some people say, well, this is boring. Okay, you keep on living in boots on the ground and not paying attention to the world around you. And you keep on thinking that life is just blah, 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 blah. And you'll notice things are changing tremendously. And I'm telling you, not on a national level, on a local level.
Yeah.
I have seen, it's on Facebook. They had the little shooting. They went picked up everybody.
I saw that.
If you were out there, they done picked you up.
And they still don't know exactly why.
I'm so Tamika. So you telling me that we live in a world now that if I'm somewhere, didn't know what was going on, but because I was there, I can be arrested.
Accessory.
I want somebody that would pick up, call us, tell us what happened. And if you're a child, you can't talk. But if you're a parent, y'all call and tell us what happened. And then we need to know why were they, what happened? Or can you talk about it? Because I don't know.
Talk about
I'm still trying to. So all I know is there was a shooting
last Saturday
here in Florence. And did anybody get hurt?
Well, 2 people were actually injured and airlifted to Huntsville, but
2 people were hurt and airlifted to Huntsville. Okay, so what's going on with it now?
Well, supposedly they're out, but it never did state. And these were 2 people that were shooting at one another.
Hold on, why were they shooting at one another?
They did not give a report on why they were shooting or who started the shooting or anything. It just said the 2 people that were shooting.
Okay, so how would it say the 2 people that were shooting?
But they didn't give a motive of why they were shooting.
But did they hit one another? Okay, so why we can't go to them and get information about what was going on?
They didn't give names, so I'm thinking it must be you.
Okay, so let me give y'all what I got now.
What
you know, I got the teeth. I got it. Look, the shooting in Florence, Alabama last Saturday refers to an overnight incident that occurred early Sunday morning. Y'all should have had your tails at home getting ready for church. I keep telling y'all, and somebody said, well, Pastor Knox, you be talking so rough. When they locking up your children, or we had to bury your children, you will understand. The Bible clearly says, sound the alarm. And an alarm does not sound pleasant. Alarm is annoying. So I want my voice to be annoying to you. Get up out the bed, get up off of your blessed assurance, and get your tail to church and bring your children. When I tell you, every individual involved needs to be at church. It was understood. You can go where you want to go on Saturday night. You better not be involved in no foolishness, and you gonna take your tail to church. Okay? But watch this. Early Sunday morning, February 22nd, it say technically in the early hours of the morning when the children should have been at home. That's all I just said. Here's a summary of known details based on the report from local authorities and media. Florence Police Department, WAFF, WHNT, WAAY, and Times Daily. I'm giving y'all where I'm getting the tea from. Now, watch what they said. The incident, February 22nd, around 1:20 a.m. Ain't nothing going on after 12 o'clock. I'm just telling you what my mom never said. Well, ain't nothing going on after 12 o'clock but stealing and some more stuff. Look what happened. This, that, and more stuff. Children need to be at home before 12 o'clock. Because after 12 o'clock, it was at midnight. Paul and Silas was locked in jail. I mean, come on now. It was at midnight. And so what I'm trying to get the parents to understand is stop blaming other folks.
Right.
You are in charge of your children. You need to know where your children are. In the Cleveland, Mississippi has a curfew now. And if your children are out after a certain time, they have to be with an adult. And if not, the parents will be fined. Now, y'all tell me.
That's a good thing.
Because things got out of control. And so now, watch What's going to happen? Somebody said, well, keep on telling us what happened. Now we need to teach. They say near the intersection of Huntsville Road and North Richard Street, East Florence. Y'all notice East Florence, not West Florence.
It did
Okay.
not.
Roads was temporarily closed while police processed the scene. What happened was they say Florence Police Department responded to a 911 call reporting shots fired. Upon arrival, officers found 2 individuals suffering from gunshots. Girl, you know that. You already knew that. In the roadway, along with several shell casings scattered at the scene. Both victims were injured by gunshots. Now, I just want to ask one question. What did the 2 victims benefit from shooting one another?
Not nothing.
Back in the day, if you wanted to see who was bad, y'all fought.
They
And
don't fight no
whoever
more.
fought, whoever won the fight, that's the baddest. Okay, but I ain't. 2 people got shot, and they both were transported to North Alabama Medical Center.
Mhm.
Both were later airlifted to Huntsville Hospital. Tamika real nosy. I told y'all she real nosy. But no fatalities were reported from the shooting. Both victims survived the initial incident, though their current conditions have not been publicly updated in detail. Now, here's the investigation detail. Somebody said, come on with it. Come on with it. We got our ear next to the radio. The Florence Police Department Criminal Investigation Division took over the scene. Detectives believe the shooting stemmed from an altercation involving multiple parties.
Of Sheffield and Florence. They
See,
put their part in there.
No, they ain't gonna put that in there. So they saying it has something to do with the what they call chefphoniums or chefphilians in the Florence. Now, I have been told that there has always been an issue with the 2. But I'm just, saying
Allegedly.
what I heard. That's what I heard. Now, I'll just tell you what I heard. I don't know. I ain't from here. I'll just tell you what I heard. And then it said authorities interviewing involved parties and witnesses, reviewing surveillance cameras and footage from all the areas. Police describe it as an isolated incident and no ongoing threat to the public. No arrests or suspect names have been publicly released yet, but they are taking names of any and everybody involved. But then, girl got on Facebook and said that anybody, children that were there, get ready. The police was picking them up. Now, did she put this on Facebook?
Alive.
Now, I got to find it live because I want to play it. Because I want y'all to understand, and this is what I'm saying, and I mean this out of love. Stop blaming other folks for what's going on with your children and get your children under control.
Exactly.
Have no business. I don't care. I don't care what you say. We have to do more to protect our children when we know what we're dealing with. We know what we're dealing with. When you already know what you're dealing with, why are you so nonchalant? And especially when it comes to African American males, why are you so nonchalant about your children and their whereabouts? And everybody should know where your children are located at all times. Only thing when we were growing up, once we left the house, we left the house. But it was something about the community that would tell your folks they saw you somewhere.
Exactly. I don't care where I went, what I did.
Somebody knew about it.
They knew.
And you get home, you're like, and then what you really tickle me, grandma was in the house and knew everybody's business.
My grandma couldn't even drive.
And knew everybody's business. Now, grandma's out in the street with the children.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem. And ain't nobody making their I don't care what you say. Going to church has helped us. Now we ratchet without church.
Right.
And we still ratchet with church. So we need to be in church, man. And I'm just saying, even as a pastor, all of us have sinned and come short of the glory of God. All of us need to be in church. And the biggest target is where growth is. The devil does not attack an empty field. Y'all better hear what I said. Somebody need to write that down. The devil does not attack an empty field. And when your children have favor and growth on their life, the devil attacks them. And you need to have enough. The Bible said this, and y'all can research it if you want to. It's in the book if you didn't take it out. The Bible says that a mother that loves her children will chastise her children and bring them up in the church. If you really love your children, you'll make sure you won't care. You need a break if they don't talk to you for a couple of days, but that's okay. Tell them they still got to go to church. You still got to carry yourself in a certain way. You still got to have a spirit of discernment. If you get them in church, they'll develop a spirit of discernment. And when they see, listen, the Holy Spirit starts speaking to them children and say, get your tail up and leave. Get out of this environment. I'm going home. I told the folks at church, I made a joke. I said, man, I had to be at home at 12 o'clock, and I was just dropping Sister Knox off at 12. Well, I'd be late. But I'm like, my dad said, I don't care, 12 o'clock.
I don't care how you do it.
Man, I got a couple whoopings. And see, that's another thing.
Oh, no, you better not whoop these kids.
Children don't know anything about whoopings. I got a couple whoopings, man. I was like, God, dog, then got punishment. Couldn't go nowhere for a whole week. I'm like, my goodness, can't get on the phone.
And the kids now, listen, you take their phone, they so smart, they know how to network and talk on the iPad, the computer.
Talk on the Alexa.
What that too?
Making phone calls from the Alexa. Texting from the Alexa. And Alexa reading out the text message. Y'all, man, good. Y'all got to keep up with these children. And I just don't understand. And we talked about this Bible class last night. Quit falling out with people because we do not fight against people. We fight against evil spirits. It's the evil spirits that make people act the way they do. And you won't recognize the evil spirits because you don't recognize who Jesus is. You go to nobody church, you talk about you know who Christ is, and because you have a feeling, you say you got it. But feelings change.
But some people be in church and still.
They still ain't got it. Because it's
like you said last night, they still on milk.
You read the scripture. You heard what it said.
I was reading. Listen.
Say the meat is for the mature.
They ain't got there.
Oh, well, you can't mature not being consistent. And I'm gonna tell you something. They talked about Trump, and I want to bring this up. They talked about Trump. They say Trump had not been to church since his inauguration. Why is it that our leaders don't like to follow God, but always use God as being the head of their life, but don't come to church consistent, don't study the Bible consistently, but you saying God is the head of your life. If God is the head of your life and you doing everything based on God, it looks like you'll be where God has placed you, because it's nowhere in that book does it say, if you are president, you don't need a pastor.
Oh.
It don't say anywhere in that book, if you're a senator, a congressman, a council person, the mayor, it does not say that you do not need a pastor.
Right.
And neither does it say that position was appointed to you by God. The only position you see in the Bible that was appointed by God is a pastor.
They don't look. They skipped that. That part tore out.
I'm just saying, it's in the book if you ain't tore it out. And for those that want to argue that, you are the one that I'm talking to, because you're so busy trying to be rebellious, you're not trying to learn. And that's why our community is going backwards, because back in the day, if nobody else did nothing else, they respected the pastor.
Yeah.
These days,
he's a man like I am.
You can't tell me nothing. You put his pants on just like I do. You sure right. You sure right. But the only difference is it's a calling. And you can go to the book. The book don't say. It says some was chosen. Now, and I read this last night in the book too. It says anything that goes against the will of God is not of God. I said that's common sense, but that's the problem. A lot of folks don't have it. If you look at it now, it's in the book. It says try the spirit by the spirit.
But you know, a lot of times you do try the spirit by the spirit. But I feel like people be pushing people on people, and they already got the discerning spirit. These folks ain't for me.
So explain what you're saying. I'm slow. You got to explain that to me. What are you saying?
It's like you be involved in relationships, and you telling this person, listen, this a good person. You just really got to get to know him. But that spirit be trying. The other person already got a discerning spirit. This person ain't for me. They for that person.
Look at Precious. Precious, what's going on down there in Dothan, Alabama? She like,
Her mic ain't.
turn your mic on. What's going on down there in Dothan, Alabama? She looking at us like it's delayed and we can't hear you. Pressure, we looking at you and everybody else looking at you. She can't hear us.
She can't hear us, but we can hear her.
Yeah, we can hear her. We hear her well. Yeah, we hear her well. Hey, so we had to work on that. We got to get that fixed, okay? We're going to get that part fixed. We're going to get that fixed. We got to get that fixed. We worked on that other day, and it didn't work.
I can't
So
hear y'all.
we're gonna
Can
fix
y'all hear
that,
me?
okay? But anyway, we're talking about, and so the thing I'm telling y'all, we're going back to the incident that just took place here in Florence. We're talking about the incident that took place with the president. We were talking about the justices on how all of them skipped out.
Can you
And
hear
the
me?
last thing I want to talk about is how everybody is using Shador Sanders' name to get clicks and likes and making money off that boy.
Really?
Oh my goodness. The Cleveland Browns have never been such a popular group of people until now. If you go online, everybody got something to say about Shador Sanders because they know people are interested. And so now they're saying that they're going to have a presidential contest. They're going to have a quarterback contest between Watson and Shador. So now what that's going to do, that's going to get everybody ready and pumped up
To see.
for the training, spring training coming up. And spring training coming up, and people are like, okay, we got to watch the Browns. Man, it's a good marketing too. I mean, they doing great. And I read somewhere that UNA basketball players, the seniors, basically are getting ready or just had their last game.
Yeah. Last night.
Yeah, see, they look at that. I know I read it somewhere. So the seniors had their last game, and it just, they say it's very emotional. And here's the thing, though. They are getting ready to leave a protected environment and walk into a mean world.
Mm-hmm.
And if these young men and young ladies do not have a grounded relationship with God, then it's going to be a little rocky out here because somebody said, well, they're going to be successful. Well, I just seen a 71-year-old actor, had plenty of money, had a family, but he killed himself. You can't lose hope. You can't lose hope based upon feelings, man, and money. And that's what we're finding. Feelings will make you say, I ain't going. And watch this. We have a man by the name of Satan. He is the father of lies. And he will get you in your feelings and have you thinking that your feelings are true. And your feelings will cause you not to attend church, not to read your Bible, not to want to hear sound doctrine, not to want to deal with folks that's going somewhere. All that comes from the devil. Feelings, spirits, that's what we fight against. We don't fight against individuals. And that's what we're trying to push the message. And somebody said, well, you can't make nobody go. Look, God don't make nobody do nothing.
No, he doesn't.
I know I can't make you do nothing because I'm gonna tell you what's funny to me. This happened to me the other day. I saw one of my old members of the church, and I said, "Good to see you." And I said, "So good to see you." And I said, "I pray all is well." And I said, "We missed you at church." Mm-hmm. They went and told somebody, Pastor Nazaret still begging folk come back to the church. And I was like, guess what? I ain't getting my feelings about that. I said, no. I just told them we missed him at the church. And they thought it was funny and said I was begging them. I said, but that's okay. I did my part. I just did my part. I say I missed you. God bless you. I have no problem with you because I cannot go to hell and be mad at people. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to stay out of my feelings. I got to stay out of my feelings. I can't let man throw me off, and I can't let my money throw me off.
But are you gonna stop saying it? You just keep doing what you do. You still gotta keep saying things to people to encourage them.
Well, you have to, because for one thing, different charge given to different people.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't understand the charge that has been given to a pastor or to the president or to the congressman or to the senator, but don't all of them have the same. The Bible principle is what we all live up under. That's what we say anyway. We say one nation under God. And if we living under one nation under God, why is it that we want to skip certain parts? Because it doesn't go with what we want to do. And so I want to tell somebody this, and this 3 things that I wrote down. Stop apologizing for your growth. You can't stay on milk all your life.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have spiritual growth. And if you got spiritual growth, you have physical growth. If you have physical growth, listen, God will add all that stuff to you. Everything that you want, all the things that you need, he provides all our needs, and he gives us the desires of our heart. So stop apologizing for your growth. Stop shrinking your goals because the people around you can't see your goals. Your goals were given to you. They're your goals. So don't shrink your goals to fit in with everybody else. And then stop funding everybody else's chaos while your own plan sit empty. Hey, stop funding everybody else's stuff and your stuff sitting empty. Charity start at home. Spread abroad. Listen, don't focus so much on other folks. I had this, and I said, stop carrying everybody else's burdens while they're not carrying their own.
Oh, they don't even care. And you sitting there stressed out, stomach hurt.
I mean, you stressing out, stomach hurting, and you like, what we going to do about it? And then it's the same old, same old.
They like, it don't bother me. I'm used to this.
Okay, so I tell everybody to pray for your pastor, because you don't know what your pastor is going through. Do you not know your pastor get phone calls 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, people fighting, and if the pastor say the wrong thing, at that particular time, 2 weeks later, it become a problem on what the pastor said.
Does it take that long?
Well, by that time the smoke was settled and they back together.
Yeah.
And then, so pastor, you tried to break our house up because you said this and you said that. So it's like you got to stay in that book and you got to stay in that Bible, and it can't be based on your feelings. And that's the part that we all have to work on. We have to stop giving people our opinion and giving what the Bible says. Because that way you can't go wrong. You can't argue with the word.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just thought we'd talk about that. And then we have all the different events going on. We got to come back to our events, got to start having a purpose. And in that purpose, we got to make sure that God is in it. Somebody said, well, you can't. Oh, no. That was the Joe Biden administration that you couldn't talk about God. They wouldn't give you no money. And you can't now in this administration, you can talk about God. Okay. So in any event you need to make sure to include God. You can't use that old Biden and old Barack Obama mentality that you can't talk about God. Because Barack Obama got out of he left his church because they say his pastor was too radical. He left his church trying to fit in with the folk, and now they call him an ape. You could have stayed at your church.
Because they didn't care nothing about you no way.
You could have stayed at your church. Stay at your church. But anyway, y'all listen, we got to get up out here. What's going on Saturday?
This coming Saturday, we're going to have at Galilee Missionary Baptist Church, you can come out. We're going to have our women's fellowship. It's absolutely free. It starts at 10 o'clock a.m. And our speaker will be Sister Cynthia Knox. So y'all come on out and be a part of that event. And then at 3 o'clock.
Hold on. Y'all listen. Sister Knox is a very elegant speaker.
Yes.
That girl's smart. She got something to say. If you ain't never heard her speak,
or even if you have heard her speak, come on out.
They ain't never heard her speak. Y'all come see for yourself. And guess what? I like what she said. She said she ain't preaching. Because all preaching wives ain't called to preach.
No.
So y'all come on out. That'll be Saturday morning at Galilee Missionary Baptist Church at 10 o'clock.
And that's 23001 County Road 14 of Florence. So make sure you come on out for that. And also that evening, the Muscle Shoals District, women's, they're also hosting a Black History program. And Councilwoman Katrina Simmons will be speaking at Calvary Missionary Baptist Church at 3 o'clock p.m. So it's a lot going on this coming weekend. So make sure you get out and be a part of it. And I know you spoke of the seniors for the boys. That was emotional for them. The girls play on tomorrow night for their senior game. And guess what their theme is?
What is it?
Purple Rain.
In the meantime, in between time, you've been tuning in to the hottest radio station in the land. That's Knox Media Group 105.1.
The music muscle of the show.
And V105.9.
The vibe.
Listen, I like to say, if you can beat us rocking, you can have our chair. We'll just pack our stuff and get up out of here. But we know that ain't true because, like Tamika like to say, we the baddest radio station from the north to the south. So you can't beat us rocking, but we got to get up out of here. We want to remind you that on tomorrow, join us, same time, same place, same station. But guess what? If you're not in the car and you're not at home, download our app today. Go to iTunes. Look at iTunes is real old. Go to the Apple Play Store, go to Apple Store, and go to the Google Play Store and download our app, Knox Media Group. Also, you can check us out on iHeartRadio. You can check us out on Amazon Music. You can check us out on Spotify. Wherever there is an outlet, we are there. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. Tell your neighbor, tell a friend. Log in for an hour and check out the baddest radio station and check out the lunchtime hour with the old school preacher.
And the church secretary.
We can't tell you about the choir president because, you know, every now and then she'll blow through. And then we got to make sure, tomorrow we're going to have the tea with the church announcer. We're going to make sure we have the tea of what's going on. And I just want to tell you, remember this, regardless of what's going on in your life, count it all joy. God said he got you. He promised never to leave you nor forsaken you. And I know for a fact, whatever you're going through is going to work out for your good. Remember, God loved you. And how do you know? He loved us so much that he gave his only begotten son. And his name was Jesus. He died on the cross for our sins, and he got up one Sunday morning. And because of that, you know you're going to rise above your problems. Y'all be blessed now, you hear?
Bye.